What's up, y'all? It's your boy Sean P back again with another edition of Hip Hop Roundtable Review. So tonight, we got more music to talk about in this very eventful summer in hip hop. Really, in the mainstream, underground, mid-mainstream artists. Hip hop really has a lot of different vibes going on right now, and I'm really enjoying this summer in hip hop, from Tyler the Creator to Raekwon to Clips to Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist to Jid. Lots going on in hip hop music right now. So tonight, I'm actually going to talk about an artist that I don't really care for too much. And as you know, I'm very highly critical of, the modern day female rap game. But I've been itching all weekend to get to this song by Cardi B, Imaginary Players. So, since it came out on Friday, it's set the world on fire. Like, it's been a heavily debated song. It's about 50-50 reception of those who like it and those who don't like it. And I said this weekend, I got a lot to say on this. So we're going to talk about Cardi B and Imaginary Players and really what it means going forward for hip hop. And also, we're going to take a look at a reaction video through Jay Nolan. Shout out to Jay Nolan. Definitely check his channel out. Like, share, subscribe. About a breakdown he did of the record, but he also gave a fan reaction for this record. So I want to do a short rebuttal to that. But first and foremost, we're going to do what we do, talk about what I liked about Cardi's song, what I didn't like about Cardi's song, and then we're going to move on to talking about the critical reception from that. So, all right, what did I like? And let's pull up the single right now on Spotify. Where's my Spotify at? Let's get to it. Okay, so Imaginary Players. So the backstory behind this is this record is a throwback record to a classic, and I mean classic Jay-Z record that he did on Volume 1. I did a list of Jay-Z's 30 greatest songs. I want to say it was before COVID. It was a while ago. It was about 5 or 6 years ago. This was one of my cuts. This is one of Jay-Z's greatest songs, where he's just talking to you like a boss, just so cool, calm, collected. And the backstory behind that is it really was a diss record at Mace. And for those that you don't know, in that late 90s period, about 9-7 to 9-8, him and Mace had a little thing going on, as they were two of the hottest young MCs in the game at that time. And they had a little rivalry going on, and Jay had some words for him on that. But anyway, it's one of the smoothest, coolest tracks of all time from Jay-Z, with an Angela Wimbush sample of an old 80s R&B record that is classic to this day. So fast forward to 2025. Cardi B is trying to get I Am the Drama, her second album, long-awaited second album after like 7 years, finally off the ground. She came with a single, Outside, that was pretty hot, which is pretty much the standard Cardi B single. But there was a buzz growing about 2 weeks ago around this Imaginary Players video song that Cardi was going to take a throwback approach to this and actually adopt the same type of aura around this record that Jay-Z did in the 90s. So automatically people were like, I don't know about this one, because you don't want to mess up classics. Don't ever play with classics. So she did the record. Not only that, she sent the record to Jay-Z to play it for him, to get the sample to clear, and Jay-Z cleared the sample. Once the sample was cleared, it's on. It's an official single on her album. So this Friday, she dropped Imaginary Players with a video. And let's just say it is made arguably one of the most talked about records of this year. Probably the most talked about single of this year. So, all right, let me get to it. What did I like? This record flat out is, I think, an homage record. That's what I like about it. It's Cardi using Jay-Z's flow, and I took it as more of an homage to Jay-Z and his style, but Cardi now personifies this song now. And she's basically putting this to her environment in hip hop right now. The same haters that were hating on Jay-Z back then, and she's now taking that on as the same female haters and other ops in the game hating on her. And this basically was a record that was a shot to all of her ops, for whoever it is, whether it's Nicki, whether it's Meg Thee Stallion, whether it's what's her name, the chick that the Bia chick that she was going with. So this is pretty much kind of a warning shot to all of those, like, look, I'm the queen, I'm glamorous. You know what I mean? You're trying to get to my position. I'm the one after 8 years they're begging for the fans to see. So I like that aspect. I definitely like the fact she's paying. I took this as she's paying tribute to Hove, but she's respectful in how she did it and got the blessing from Jay to make this record, and basically channeling the energy of the haters. This is a shot to all the haters. So I like that energy. It's the same beat, maybe a little bit more bass in it. Her flows came off a little bit uncomfortable, but I take it more that's because Cardi's not used to rapping at this slow cadence. She's used to the turn up trap style, which you're rapping more words per minute in that. She raps a lot faster on different songs and different in her traditional sense. This is a throwback record. This is a throwback record to the 90s. And I'm gonna be honest with you. At first I was like, this is kind of okay. But after playing it a couple of times, I gotta admit, I like the record. You know what I mean? I treat it as a tribute record to Jay-Z. And her flows were a little bit uncomfortable, but I think that's because she's not used to rapping in that 90s style. I like her whole bravado on there. I like her aura on this, her mic presence, because this is a record this is a throwback record, and it gave me a feeling of nostalgia of how old female hip hop used to be. This reminded me more of like a Little Kim or a Foxy Brown in their day, coming back shouting out their haters. You know what I mean? And Cardi pulled it off. I'll be honest with you. She pulled it off. People are arguing that, she used writers or co-writers or whatever. And I think those are her lyrics, but I did think she had help. I saw Party Fontaine is in the writing credits. So I think he worked on her with this, but that's fine. When it comes to female hip hop, I kind of give a pass because all of them at one point worked with some sort of writers, co-writers, ghostwriters, whatever. So I'm not going to take that away from her. I like her flows on there. She's got some surface level bars, but bars that hit hard nonetheless. You know what I mean? I could see why Jay gave her the blessing to do this record, because it's legit. It's a dope record. I'm not going to lie to you. And listen, I'm objective as they come. I do not like Cardi B. I think WAP is one of the most horrible songs of all time. I never liked that song from the minute it came out. But I can dig this record. And I think what's important about it, I like that she took a chance on this. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this is not what we're used to from Cardi B, because she's more talking about, the whole stripper vibe and, cutting down women, cutting down men, and doing the disrespectful, ignorant female hip hop. But I like the vibe on this. I like her boss aura. She felt like a boss chick on this. This is boss chick type shit. And the fact that she went with this for her second single, I'll give her respect for it. Because she could have came out with any old standard trap record that any other female rapper is doing, the same disrespectful, ignorant female ratchet hip hop. She could have done a diss record on Offset. And I think that's what a lot of people are waiting on, for her to do a diss record on Offset, given their marital problems, which I thought would be kind of a low blow. And I really wouldn't get into their personal life, or how their marriage broke up. That's their business. But this song right here is hip hop. Like, I dig it, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm impressed she took this risk. Could it have been better? Yeah, because she's a little bit awkward flow wise, but she still pulled it off. I give her respect on this. I'll give it a straight 7.5 out of 10. This is a decent single. Is it the follow-up single you want to? Because usually your second single is the single to really make your album pop like that. And I don't think it's going to be that record, but it is getting talked about. It is getting a lot of debate on either side of where you fall on this record, and it's making noise. I definitely dig what she did on this. So I'm going with a straight 7.5 out of 10, because I do like the fact that she took a risk. You know what I mean? And she took a risk that a lot of other female rappers are scared to make. Like, I'll tell you one thing: Nicki Minaj wouldn't do a record like this. You know what I mean? She wouldn't have the balls to go back and take that risk, because this right here is not going to resonate with a Gen Z fan base. This is more of a record for the 35, the 40 to 45 and over, because it's respect to that era, it's respect to the golden era, and she pulled it off. Now let's get to the criticism about this record. So Jay Nolan showed a clip of a fan reacting to this. Now, I don't know who this young lady is or what have you, but yeah. So let me play this record, play this clip real quick, and we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna stop and start with her commentary and also some points that Jay Nolan made.
Damn, I ain't know this shit with 5 minutes, but let's see what she talking about.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. Whoever told Number 11 to release this as her album single set her up to fail. And this is from a pure business standpoint, right? We will get into the logistics of the song later, but the song itself is too slow and too old school for her audience. For her audience, Cardi B fan base is not hip hop. She don't have hip hop fans. She have Cardi B fans. Most of Cardi B fans are not familiar with hip hop. They not familiar with old school Jay-Z. They don't know none of this stuff. Her Gen Z fans not going to be able to resonate with this. Only about 20, maybe 25% of Cardi fan base actually going to.
Okay, I want to stop it there because there's a lot to unpack with that right there. She said some interesting comments, and I necessarily don't disagree with her, this person who did the critique on this record. Gen Z definitely ain't ready for this. But see, this is the problem. This to me is more of a problem with the Gen Z hip hop listener. See, pure Cardi fans are going to fuck with this record because they like Cardi B. But as far as female hip hop fans, I could see some of them being turned off to this because it's not talking about popping your coochie or it's not the ratchet stuff that Cardi B made famous, that made her brand off of. But see, this is the problem. Instead of younger listeners saying, damn, what's this about? You know what I mean? I didn't know she remade a Jay-Z song. Let me go back and do my history on the original Imaginary Players and listen to more of Volume 1, because I'm interested in the golden era of hip hop. But it's going to be the opposite. And see, this is the problem that I brought up with modern day Gen Z hip hop listeners. They care more about supporting a brand than listening to hip hop and listening for good music, creative music, and records that, you know, really have a concept to it. They don't care about that. If they like Cardi B, it could be the most trash song out there, but they support it because they want to support brand Cardi B. And this is a problem with them. I find more and more the older hip hop listeners are actually giving this song respect, like myself, because I respect the fact she took a risk that a lot of artists wouldn't take. I don't think any female mainstream artist would take this risk right now, including Nicki Minaj. And Nicki Minaj could pull this off, but I don't think they would take that risk for the sake of not selling records and getting the bag. Cardi did that, and I give her respect for that. So is this person right? Yeah, but to a point, she's right. But I think that shows how sad mainstream hip hop listeners are. That's an indictment on them, not on Cardi B, because new listeners and younger listeners should embrace this and embrace the old golden era of hip hop. Let's talk some more of what she had to say.
You like this song, but
Maybe so. I'm just gonna jump in here. Very, very possible, right? But I'll tell you what did happen. From the moment that this song was announced, and it was already known that she was gonna be sampling Jay-Z and that it had to go through the clearance. Mm-hmm. Just off of that tidbit of information, Cardi B's fans and just people online, period, went back and played Jay-Z's Imaginary Player, and that song has seen an extreme spike in streaming activity since Cardi B's version was just announced. We hadn't heard a bar, we didn't hear the beat, we didn't see a clip from the video.
And that's right, because Jay-Z, that song actually entered the top 40 on hip hop songs on iTunes. And mind you, this Jay-Z record is before Jay-Z was Jay-Z. This was Jay's second album, Volume 1, which maybe, I'm going to put it to you like this. Volume 1, in my lifetime, Volume 1, I think is the most, how should I say this? It's the album that gets the least amount of respect out of Jay-Z's catalog. Because to give you a timestamp on this was after Reasonable Doubt, which is a certified street classic, and before Volume 2. Jay-Z didn't really become Jay-Z as we know it till Volume 2 and Volume 3. That's when Jay-Z became the pop crossover Jay-Z. This is somewhat, Volume 1 is maybe his most obscure project. And the fact that people went back and listened to this, to Volume 1 and got this song in the top 40 on iTunes speaks volumes. And that goes back to saying that I don't think Gen Z totally was out of this. I think a good portion of that was younger listeners who wanted to educate themselves. And I give them credit, those who went back and listened to Volume 1, I give them credit for that. But it is an homage record, you know what I mean? Paying homage. And I think that's what you need to see in hip hop. You know what I mean? This is a real hip hop moment right here, where one of the, if you want to say, iconic female rappers from this generation actually helped Hove out, because Volume 1 is probably Jay-Z's most obscure record, because this was right before Jay-Z blew up to become the pop sensation that he was and the legendary icon that he is now.
All we saw was a cover art and an announcement. and motherfuckers went and ran up the original. So I think that's a bit of a disservice to act like the fans don't have a thirst for anything more when they literally went out and found the source material just to gain understanding of what they were getting into ahead of time.
But the vast majority of her fans are going to hate it. But I feel like Cardi has something to prove because she already know people don't think she's hip hop. So I guess this is her way of proving that she actually knows hip hop. But when you know bitches don't actually write their song, I mean, what does it really prove, honestly? Oh shit, she was the only one labeled on it. That's what a ghostwriter is. Most songs have regular writers. When the ghostwriter is not labeled, that's
See, and I want to stop this here. Now, see, I'm gonna tell you something about this girl right here, and this is why this is disingenuous. When Cardi is doing all of her WAP records or Outside or Bodak Yellow or all of those hood ratchet anthems, chicks do not give a fuck about her writing her record. They don't care. They do not care if she writes her shit or not. So why now, all of a sudden, do you care that she used a writer or used co-writers? See, it's okay to use co-writers when you're making a ratchet hip hop hit, but when she's actually doing real hip hop and doing a real hip hop record and an homage to Jay-Z, now it's a problem that she has help. I don't get that narrative. You know what I mean? Like all of them used co-writers before. Nicki Minaj used Safari earlier in her career. You know what I mean? So to me, it's not a big deal. But why is it a big deal now? Because your thing is, well, Cardi B can't be hip hop because she uses writers. But she's been hip hop before, and she was making a certain type of music, and it was okay to use writers then. That shit doesn't make any sense. It's like this chick wants to have a selective agenda just because it's a real hip hop record. And I don't get that argument.
what makes it a ghost. You
We just showed you Partisan Fontaine's name is listed. There's no ghost. And he's not a mystery man either.
don't know who it is.
And back to what I was saying, Party Fontaine did help with this record. I do think this is mostly her lyrics, but I think she got help on there. But I don't think that's a big deal. Honestly, it's a dope record. It's a dope record that's gonna go on your playlist. It's a tribute record. Who cares? So even if she did or didn't do help, okay. If it's a dope record, when she was making her other hits, you know, WAP, Bodak, whatever, y'all didn't care if she was using writers now. So now all of a sudden it's a problem. I think that's kind of hypocritical.
But I think her getting Jay-Z to clear a beat was supposed to be like a publicity headline because somebody else is making public accusations against him, right? So, that plus she throwing a couple jabs here and there. But overall the song is weak, right?
Okay, so here's the second part of this. She's obviously alluding to Nicki Minaj and her Twitter rant war against Jay-Z and Desiree Perez. So the whole the narrative that is out there, the conspiracy narrative is she's been waiting to get this record clear for a year. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Jay-Z decided to clear the record. Now, mind you, this record was done before Nicki went off and did her Twitter rant on Jay-Z. But people are speculating that this is Jay's way of picking a side to big her up by clearing this record because she wants to go against Nicki. Now, I listened to the record, and a couple of shots could have been at Nicki, but it's more of a subliminal shot to all of her ops out there, which Nicki is an op. So Nicki might take it that way. But I'll put it to you like this. If it was really about Nicki Minaj, Nicki would have said something by now on Twitter. So I don't think Nicki kind of took offense to it, but who knows? We got plenty of time for Nicki to respond. You know how she does, flying off the handle. But this young lady here, like, I could tell she a barb too, because now it's automatically weak just because of the Jay-Z involvement in this. this, which again is disingenuous on her part. So obviously she must have some sort of allegiance to Nicki Minaj when Cardi's really not talking about Nicki, but maybe it's a shoe fits, wear it situation. I don't know. But I could tell she was offended by that because now all of a sudden the record is weak just because of the Jay-Z affiliation and the controversy, the back and forth with Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj. That right there is a tell from her that she definitely is on that Nicki side. So a little bit of bias involved on that one.
Monotone as fuck. She kept the same flow throughout the entire song, but like so.
She say it's monotone as fuck, kept the same flow throughout the entire song, when she's literally taking Jay-Z's flow from the original, in which he kept the same flow.
And see, this is what I mean. This chick right here, she don't know hip hop. She not a hip hop head because this is an homage record for Jay-Z. And that's how they rap back then. Kim, Fox, they rap like that. You know what I mean? So this is the throwback record to that era. So no wonder she took a monotone flow, So, again, I could just tell this chick is biased. This chick is beyond biased.
Throughout the entire song. But you said somebody not hip hop. This is why you shouldn't comment on things that you really don't have an understanding of. But I was sent this, so we're gonna humor it.
So I see she matched his flow, but you need to really know the market that you're in, right? You don't understand your market, you can't sell. And don't say, oh, it's about artistry. No, it would be about artistry if Cardi actually wrote, right?
See, here we go again. See, automatically, and this is the problem. Now I know she's a barb now. Automatically, you go right to the business aspect of this, the marketing behind this. In other words, record sales, streams, all of that. But see, I look at the opposite way. The fact she took a risk and did a record that no other female current mainstream hip hop artist, I don't even think Doechii would take an approach like this. I don't think Glorilla or Lotto would take an approach like this because they're more scared about the public perception. So I give Nicki Minaj on my mind automatically. Well, obviously this chick is a barb, so no wonder. But the thing about it is that the fact Cardi took that risk, I gave her props for this because a lot could have been on the line on this. If she fucked this song up, I mean, she would have got skewered by, the real hip hop communities. But it turns out that the older heads are actually giving her more respect than the younger chicks on this, her younger hip hop fans.
And the song is heavily surrounding consumerism. All she know how to write about is consumerism or sex. I'll keep saying, oh, she's really grown as an artist. No, she hasn't. It's actually getting worse. Switching beat and flow when you don't write your own songs is not growth. Growth would have been a change in subject matter. Cardi has 4 kids. She's gonna go through a divorce.
See, this is my problem too, right? So you're basically saying you want to see growth from this artist, but you're saying you'd much rather her talk about ratchet shit and talk about, P rap and all that other stuff. But if she does the same old, how is that growth? But she's wrong for taking that risk just because it's not the other shit that she usually does and it's fucking up her marketing. No, this is actually better that she does this because if she has more of a 90s style to this album, I would actually give her credit that she's trying to go in a more traditional hip hop direction. And I give Cardi respect for that. But you're saying this chick is basically looking at it like, well, either way, it's going to be trash. It's going to be trash because she's trying to do a 90s style, which is different, and she's showing no growth. But she needs to go back and do the ratchet hip hop that she usually does. And she's not really growing as an artist, but that's best for her marketing. So she should do that. It's like, what's it gonna be? This chick is talking to herself in a hole right here.
Oh man, what are we doing here? So now everybody in hip hop get to pop shit about their jewels, their clothes, their cars. But when somebody that actually has it raps about it, now it's you haven't grown. Not to mention, we haven't even heard the album yet.
That's right.
Haven't.
And see, another thing that Jay Nolan is saying the exact same thing I'm saying. It's like if she did the same old shit she usually does, she didn't grow as an artist. But because she's doing something different, but it's an older flow and it's an older type of record, now all of a sudden she uses ghostwriters, which she used ghostwriters on the other stuff she was doing, which you wanted to hear her rap like that. But now it's a problem because she's using ghostwriters and she's not growing as an artist. So it's like basically you're saying she's fucked either way. So obviously this chick, she took a side and picked a side to not like this record even before it came out. So to me, it's just a waste of time on this chick.
Even heard the album yet. It's about to be damn near 20 songs on that album. We've heard 2 new ones and some old shit. We haven't even heard the meat and potatoes of the album. To say she hasn't grown, I think that's crazy. Now, if you don't like the record, it's fair game. Don't like the record, say it's trash, you're not gonna play it. That is well within your rights. That is well within your choice. You don't have to like it, nor play it, or run it back, stream it, play the video. All good. And there's a chance that it may not perform all that well commercially in terms of going up on the Billboard Hot 100 or whatever metrics people are looking for. It's very possible that it won't perform to that level, right? But this is the record that Cardi B wanted to go with. She absolutely did not have to go with this record if she was focused on numbers and chart positioning. An artist of that stature, an artist who we've seen over the years put out club bangers that go to the top of the charts. I mean, she's broken all types of records, not only in female rap, but in hip hop and just being a woman in music, period. She's got all types of records. So you mean to tell me she didn't know that doing a real hip hop record, a cult classic hip hop record that's not all that popular outside of the Jay-Z Rockefeller sphere, that's the record she's going to go with to try to prove how commercial she is? No. Apparently, she wants to show artistic growth. She wants to rap on it.
Facts. This is how you show artistic growth. You go against the grain about what you usually do, not caring about the record sales. And she should be embraced for that, not ridiculed. Because this chick is basically saying she's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's the same deal, which is what I don't get.
A different type of beat, which is a vastly different type of beat than what she's accustomed to rapping on. And I think a lot of people, when they heard about it, I know I was one of the people that was like, I hope she don't fuck it up, because
me too.
Cardi B, 90s Jay-Z rap, they don't go together, but it worked.
It absolutely did.
At least in my opinion. If you say it doesn't, that's on you. But you know,
I'll stop it here. But basically, I mean, Jay Nolan is saying the same thing that I'm saying on this. It's like, look, she took a risk. She didn't have to do this. You know, she could have put out the same ratchet strip club banger she usually does to speak to her, you know, Gen Z OnlyFans generation. But the fact she took that risk and it worked, she needs to be commended for that. Bottom line. So I'll sum it up. I'm going to go 7.5 out of 10 with imaginary players. Cardi, shout out to you. I think you pulled it off. Jay gave her the blessing for a reason, and it's getting love. And believe it or not, it's getting love from older hip hop heads too. So salute Cardi. I mean, Cardi did her thing on this. I'll give her that. It's not the greatest record in the world, but the fact she took that risk and made a joint that will stay on my playlist for a little bit, I'll give her credit for that. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Imaginary Players, was it a dud? Did she pull it off? Did she pay homage to Jay-Z in the right way by picking this record? You tell me. I'm going 7.5 out of 10. Nice record, definitely something for your playlist. And hey, when Cardi drops an album, I don't have my hopes up about it, but I'm going to check it out. She got my ear now. All right, let's see what she got. I still think she's going to go back to what she's known for doing, but we'll see. You know, this gives me, you know, a glimpse of maybe she might try and do something different, but who knows? So anyway, I'll talk to y'all in the next pod. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to Hip Hop Roundtable Reviews, and enjoy the rest of y'all evening. All right, peace.